First time I do this. So look, look, look where I'm speaking to you from. Look, there we go. I don't know if you see much, but we docked in at Japan. Here we go. You don't see the Japanese flag anywhere, but I promise you it's Japan. We've been docked for quite some time, but it's taking a while for them to. Oh, let's see if I can put this here somewhere. Okay, there we go. It's taking a while for them to tell us to disembark, so I'm taking this time to chat with you guys. First thing I was gonna ask is where is everyone from, but I think you already did this on your own. Let's see. If you can just type in where you're from, I can see Japan already. You can see so many countries: Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt, Lebanon, Qatar, Syria, Vegas, Greece, Canada, Missouri, US, of course, Philippines, Hungary. Wow, that's just incredible. It's insane. Bringing people together, like, no, I hope. So yeah, Mauritius, Switzerland, Tanzania, Chile, Mexico, Georgia, Croatia, Scotland. That's amazing. Thank you all really for tuning in. I know it's different parts of the world, different time zones, but we're all now finally together. And yeah, just waiting for disembarkation in Japan. Still to go through immigration, so not congratulations, not just yet. Still always having problems with immigration usually. Not problems, but hiccups, let's call them. Serbia, South Africa, Uzbekistan, yes. So yeah, maybe start with a little recap, no? It's been 8.5 months. And I don't know if you can hear me well, by the way, can you? I think you can. It's a bit noisy here. Can you type if you can hear me well? Yeah, clear? Alright, perfect. Yeah, a little recap. 8.5 months ago, started from my hometown, Cairo. Was a very scary night, my last night, because going into the unknown a little bit. Also a big commitment, the challenge. So I couldn't sleep the last night. Crossed the Red Sea by ferry to Saudi Arabia. Went on a pilgrimage in Mecca. Visited my uncle in Saudi Arabia as well. Then visited many friends in United Arab Emirates, in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. We stayed there a while to just stay with friends a little bit. Then crossed by boat to Iran, which was a big unknown to me. And it was at the time also with, well, I guess still a little bit, always covered only in the negative light in the media, and you don't really see day-to-day life there or anything. And yeah, it was first night, 1 a.m. A stranger takes me into their home, so it speaks a lot to Iranian hospitality, and just was an amazing time there. 6.5 weeks in Iran, many different landscapes. I think I can recommend it to everyone because there's something for everyone there, because there are so many different things to do and see. From there, I was applying to Turkmenistan, but they did not want me, basically, or they have very strict requirements. So on the same day they told me no, I went straight to the Plan B, Afghanistan embassy, and they were very happy to have me visit and give me a visa. Only in 2-3 days they issued it for a month, and they even invited me for another month. And the crossing from Iran to Afghanistan was a crossing I never thought I'd make over land. Just two countries always in a negative light, but two countries that I absolutely enjoyed my time in. Very hospitable people. They treat you like a king, basically, once you're there. And yeah, I think the regular people are not covered by media or not. It's not known to people how friendly they are really. Yeah, spent 2 weeks in Afghanistan, chilled with Taliban a little bit. I mean, they're everywhere, so they get curious and they ask questions, but it's more out of curiosity, and they were friendly with me, so all good. Then to Uzbekistan, where first night already I was received in a village by villagers, gave me a place to sleep. Incredible hospitality. This part of the world, it's insane. They don't know the limits of hospitality, as one friend said. Camped in the desert there also was a big highlight, where I tried to find civilization after, because it was just in the middle of nowhere. This beautiful architecture of the Silk Road cities there in Uzbekistan. Then, if you remember, or if you were tuning in early enough, there was the train of hell, as I call it, from Uzbekistan to Kazakhstan, where it was basically a moving oven that we were in, crossing through the desert. Then in Kazakhstan, the big highlight, I guess, were trains, because the country is just too big. It's the 5th largest country in the world, so I'm on a train for 2 days, then I'm on a train for a day and a half, for another day. And that was the highlight for me, because you live on the train with people. Like, it's an open carriage, there's not rooms. So you're in a carriage with like 30, 40 people, and you're there for 2 days together. So you play games, you chat, you eat together. It's incredible how they welcome you there. Also beautiful nature, of course, looking out the window. Then from Kazakhstan went to Kyrgyzstan, which, I can speak too much about Kyrgyzstan. I spent 6 weeks there, although it's not the biggest country, and I think that can give you, that says a lot if I spend that much time there. It's really incredible nature, delicious food, beautiful people. It's really the country for nature lovers, this one. Not for city lovers, that's for sure, but for nature people. Then Tajikistan, which of course has the Pamir Highway, which I didn't have any transport and had to hitchhike or depend on my thumb all the way. People giving me lifts, truck drivers, villagers in the mountains, hosting me without knowing me, and truck drivers giving me lifts, people working at truck stop kind of places where truck drivers sleep, they take me in as well. Incredible hospitality there. Really, I haven't seen more hospitable people than in Central Asia as a whole, really. And I'm really surprised that it doesn't have more visitors, let's say. Then China, of course, which it had to be a speed run, because I could not get a visa for more than 15 days. So it was very intense, because I wanted to see as much as possible. And a lot of language barriers. They have their own world, kind of. So you have to pay with their apps on the phone. You cannot use your card. You have to use their navigation app, which is all in Chinese. So that was funny to navigate. And then, of course, camping at the Great Wall, which is a very big highlight, not only of China, but of the whole trip. It was surreal being there, sleeping on the night there. Then the ferry to South Korea, which I really loved also. It was a time to chill a little bit, but also I really liked. There was the Mask Dance Festival. There was the most impressive fireworks I've ever seen in my life. And I really found the charm of Korea to be in the countryside. So if you ever go, I really recommend the countryside, not just the big cities. Which also includes Jeju Island, which is a very beautiful, they call it the Korean Hawaii. And finally, the boat, this boat, let's show you the boat a little bit. There we go. It's quite a big boat, I would say. Overnight to Japan, and made it here. So I really want to just thank you for all your support, for all your encouragement, messages. It's really been incredible. And maybe time for some Q&A if you want. Let's see if you have any questions I can answer now. Thank you really for all the messages. Walk back. The plan is to fly back. So I already booked my flight out of Tokyo. So I will be flying back. Yeah, not for another time, another challenge. I have hopefully in mind another challenge for next year. But for now, yeah, I will be flying back. How long in Japan? I will be there 5 weeks. Favorite country? I think Kyrgyzstan. Okay, too many questions, so they have to be quick fire. I have to be quicker. Let's see. What's next? Japan, and we'll be flying back, making stops in Taiwan and Sri Lanka. Egypt to South Africa, maybe. Maybe. I have some ideas. I'll think about it. Where am I going in Japan? I will be crossing from the southwest all the way to Tokyo. So, except the north, let's say. Oh, Carrie, hello. How much I spend? So how much I spend? This is a very frequently asked question, but it's a question I don't answer because it doesn't. I don't know if the motivation for asking is so that you know if you can do it or how much you need to do something like this also. Then because there's so many variation, the range of what you can spend is so big that any number I give it's irrelevant actually to you even. So I can tell you that if someone is bikepacking, let's say, which I didn't do, but someone bikepacking, camping the whole way, for 8 months they can live on $3,000 maybe. Like it can be as cheap as that. $3,000 for 8 months if you're bikepacking, and then it can go all the way to some people. They can spend in a month. They can spend 5,000-8,000 or something, which of course I don't do. But you can see the range is so big. But it starts, if you're bikepacking, that could be the cheapest way to do it. It starts from somewhere like 3,000 for 8 months. So it really depends on what you do, where you go, what you eat, and the range is big. But it can be as cheap as that. So I think that hopefully gives you some perspective. How did the journey affect my health? Actually, I thought I would be losing weight, a lot of weight, because of obviously what I'm doing. But until Central Asia, I was actually gaining weight, just because of all the food, all the hospitality, people giving me food. It's really been great, and I actually gained weight in Central Asia, and I think I started to lose it a little bit now, again in China and Korea, just eating noodles and soups and stuff. So it helps to lose weight. Google Translate, of course, was a big lifesaver to communicate. That and hand gestures, so like acting out the message. So if I'm asking, where to go to a train station and the person has no idea what I'm talking about, I can just do, something like that. It's like a game of charades almost, and you have to act out what you want to say. Person asked, can I join next journey? So big news is I have some ideas for the next challenge, but a big idea is that I'm hoping to open it for people to join next time. So stay tuned, and if you're interested to join, if you liked the style of travel or something, I'll be opening it up to just for a few people. I cannot have like too many people obviously, but just a few people to join, so stay tuned for that. VPN I used for China was Ostrich and GreenNet. Why not Pakistan? I really wanted to go. Actually, in the early, I did plan initially for the journey to make a detour through Pakistan and India. But because upon further research and because of political situation in Myanmar, which is east of India, east of Bangladesh, I cannot cross overland from there, and I cannot cross overland from India to China. So it becomes a dead end for overlanding. So that's why I had to not make this detour this time and hopefully go another time. Why did I choose Japan? Motivation. I wanted to see as much as possible of Asia. I had never traveled to Asia before. So I thought I'd choose without flying to see as much as possible. And then I chose Japan because it's the farthest Asian country to the east. And Asia actually begins kind of in the west, in Asia, in Egypt, almost, like in Sinai Peninsula. So it would be crossing the biggest, adding a little bit of challenge also on top of that, crossing the biggest continent from end to end. So yeah, that was a nice combination of factors. Any regrets? Absolutely not. It's an easy, more difficult question. Have you ever been to Morocco? That's an interesting question. I wanted to go one time. I crossed from Spain. I crossed the Strait of Gibraltar by boat, and it was a time of heightened political tensions, and I was refused entry to Morocco from Spain. So yeah, hopefully another time. But I was on the African continent there, but in the Spanish side. So it was weird, but hopefully another time. Most difficult border crossing? Tajikistan to China, absolutely. Just because it's in the middle of nowhere, the amount of effort I had to go through to get there, that was definitely the biggest challenge. Have you been to Iceland? Yes. Yeah, I call it the other planet of Iceland. I spent 1 week camping there, wild camping. No, not wild, wild-ish. I rented a car and I was just sleeping in the car. So yeah, 1 week there. Wait, there was a question about the Taliban, but I missed it. You have the world record for most kilometer traveled without flying? Absolutely not. I have a friend, his name is Thor, you can check him out, he's Danish. And he traveled to every country in the world without flying over 10 years. So absolutely, I am nowhere close near the record. I think he would have the record if that record exists. Oh, too many. How to navigate answering the Taliban's questions. I mean, the questions were simple, so I didn't really have to, do a lot of tricky navigation. They were like asking me where I'm from, what I'm doing here, all that stuff. So it's not very tricky. They did suggest, funny. They made a joke, the Taliban. They suggested to me that I open a Taliban branch and I extend the Taliban to Egypt, which they made a joke, and I found it funny, but yeah, it was just a joke they made. Will you come? What Egypt to Japan without flying? Can women do this journey? Absolutely. I found sometimes people in the comments saying women cannot do that, but I find women backpackers doing similar things. So I do find them. They're not as many, but I do find them. And they do very impressive things also. Favorite thing about Kyrgyzstan? Too many to list. Would you have gone to Russia if its borders weren't closed? I think the borders are not closed, but I'm saving it for another time, let's say. I want to take the Trans-Siberian Railway one day in Russia. I'm saving it for another time, hopefully. How do you decide who or not to trust for hitchhiking accommodation offers? Instinct. It's instinct. To summarize it. Did you get homesick? Not sick, it's a big word, but I do miss, of course, family, friends, food. I haven't spoken Arabic in a while. Yes, that's true. Any Arabic speakers here? ممكن نتكلم عربي شوية. بقالي كتير ما اتكلمتش بس بتكلم مع العيلة. A little bit of Arabic. Sorry, I had to get it out. I do speak with family and friends in Arabic, so not too much, but a little bit. When are you arriving in Japan? Guys, I'm here. Almost. Do I keep in touch with friends? Absolutely. What does my family think about this journey? Obviously, I had all the Omar, what are you doing kind of thing when I announced it to them when I was there in Egypt first. But now, they got used to it. So they're very behind it. They're very motivating, but they're behind me all the way anyway. Next plan, I'm not announcing it yet. They're just ideas in my head. So once I have a concrete plan, I will let you know. أهلا بيكم. Any moment I feared for my life? Actually, no. So even as someone from the outside would be looking, even hitchhiking in the middle of the desert, camping in the middle of nowhere, chilling with Taliban, all that stuff, I did not fear for my life one single time in Asia and throughout this whole journey. If you ask me about South America and Latin America, though, I traveled there quite a bit. That was a whole other topic, and the stories from there are really about that life or death kind of stories, where if you haven't been with me long enough, the Mexican drug cartel, for example, interrogated me in the desert. That was quite something. A volcano erupted while I was, hiking next to it, hiking on the volcano next to it, things like that. But on this journey, no, I did not fear for my life. Let's see. How much do I pack? About 12, 13 kilos, something like that. Not too much. Okay, let's see. Have I done a journey similar to this? Latin America, it's similar, but not entirely. So I did use a flight, but I think I used 2 or 3 flights only in the space of a year, a little bit over a year. I traveled around Latin America almost without flying, almost. I only used the flight, that was actually internal flight. It's because it was cheaper than a bus, and it would be to the next place. So that was the only reason to do it. Hello, Switzerland. Did I buy souvenirs? Yes, although I like to keep souvenirs that I don't really buy, but more like things I have. Things just come up. Like, for example, in Korea, the mask dance festival, the locals gave me a mask to wear. So, for example, that's my souvenir from Korea. Things like that. I stopped. My favorite souvenirs are not anymore like magnets and stuff like that. It's more like things that have a meaning to me in the place. Come to Vegas. I have been there, my friend. But what happens there stays there, as you all very well know. What happened to the purple car? It survived and it got fixed. No worries. In a couple of days, and my friend made it to Kazakhstan to the car show. So all good with him. Do you think an American could take the route? They could. The only caveat is that in Iran you will have to be with a tour guide. I don't think for Iran, Americans, British, and another nationality, I don't remember, they cannot roam Iran freely, independently. So they have to be with a tour guide. I think that's the caveat. And I think Afghanistan might be the same. I did not check. But those 2 countries, I think you have to be with a tour guide. But otherwise, it's possible, yes, of course. How many pairs of shoes? 1 pair of shoes. But I think it's at the end of its life cycle almost. So that's for sure. 1 pair of shoes, 1 pair of slippers. That's all. That's all. It's part of the light packing. Hint on the next trip idea. The only hint I can give is, so I can tell you that to come here from Egypt without flying, I covered 42,000 kilometers, over 42,000 kilometers, which is 26,000 miles. And this distance is longer than the circumference of our planet around the equator. And that's the only hint I'll give you for the idea for the next trip. Okay, but I need to find sponsorship or something, because yeah. So it might take some time, but I'll keep you posted. What equipment I use for my videos? Only my phone. I only have my phone in terms of equipment. I don't even have a mic to record the videos. Everything is done just with my phone. Did I have food poisoning? No, thankfully. my 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 stomach is used to Egyptian food, so Egyptian street food, full of طعمية, it's all good. Best meal, I think a meal called Ashlan Fu. Ashlan Fu, in case you want to know. It's a meal in far eastern Kyrgyzstan and far western China. In that area of the world, they have it. It's a cold soup actually, with two different kinds of noodles, and it's a little bit spicy. It was incredible. If you want to look it up, and also a drink in China. I have to say, it's a sweet drink. You can buy it from a convenience store, and it has rice bits floating in it. But it's cold and it's sweet and it's incredible. I did not expect to be that incredible with rice bits floating in it. Is my passport full of stamps? Yes. Actually, this helps now at immigration because they see so many pages of stamps, so they don't like worry about me or something. They see I'm just a traveler. But pages are almost getting near to running out actually, so I have to go back and renew a passport or something. How has this journey changed you? Maybe in a way that I need to share also, that it's a clear realization that we're all just humans, we're all one big family almost. We have a lot more in common than differences, and I think it was good to make videos to share that message in between the lines. I think people got to get that message in between the lines, even though I don't have to say it directly. But yeah, all the differences, all the things, politics, these are more politics and power plays rather than genuine human differences, let's call it like that. And being ingrained in our mind, growing up with all the media, our environment, I think it's important to know that we're all just one big family, and we're all, people just trying to live our lives. And yeah, I think that's an important message. Prettiest place, I think a shout out to Aksai Canyon in Kyrgyzstan. You can look it up. Aksai Canyon. Train to Hell 2.0? No, here, not in Japan, I doubt it. I think here will be very smooth. How many languages do I know? Arabic, English, obviously, some Spanish, and just a little bit of German. A little bit of Spanish and German. Did I learn Russian? Only the basic words. Privyat, kak dela, хорошо, давай. Only the basic words just to get by. But I had to depend on Google Translate eventually. With Japanese sports, I'm in Fukuoka. Hey, let's see. And I think I see people disembarking. Okay, I need to go. So once again, thank you all so much for your support. Really means a lot to me and kept me pushing. A lot of motivation on the way. It's an announcement probably to tell me I need to go. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in from all the different parts of the world, taking time out of your busy day. And I'll keep you posted on what I do in Japan, mostly with stories and posts, but I'll keep you posted. And I'll keep you posted, hopefully go on another challenge next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much, guys. Omar, over and out.